We got a fun one today. I'm Stephen Human. Welcome to Superhuman Customs, the channel where we just customize action figures, do some cool stuff. And what we got today is a Jim Gordon, just Commissioner Gordon, right? So we've got this Hush body. So we've got a trench coat body, which I think works for Jim Gordon. We've got the Jim Gordon head from the Jim Gordon Batman. And I think this is it's gonna make a perfect Commissioner Gordon. We're gonna put a mustache on him, we're gonna add some more hair, but I love the fact that the head, it'll look the same as the other Jim Gordon that I have, where he's in the bat suit. And I love that, I love the early McFarlane Superman, even when they had the angry face Superman and the regular face Superman, you could tell they were the same dude. They'd use the same, base sculpt and then kind of changed it a little bit to make him angry. I love when they do that, and oftentimes they don't. So I wanted to have a Jim Gordon where he's Batman and Jim Gordon where he's just Commissioner Gordon. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, so let's jump right in. All right, so I've got some glue on his head and I'm experimenting with a different kind of putty that I've never used before. I'm not sure if it's gonna work as well as Milliput, but I wanted to give it a try because I've got it. So I'm just gonna lay some hair down here and just kind of pat it in place. And then I'm gonna add some here for a tie because I want him to have a tie. I don't want him to be Mr. Hush. I want him to be Commissioner Gordon. So I'm just gonna lay this in place like so. And then I'm gonna form it just like I would Milliput, and I'll let you know if it works. And if it does, then I'll tell you the name. And if it doesn't, then we'll just chalk it up to me trying something that didn't work. So it is working, but it is more sticky. It's stickier than Milliput. So I'm not gonna recommend it, but it is gonna work for this guy. So I'm gonna mold it in place just as I would the Milliput and go from there, getting the hair looking nice and stuff. So yeah, it's an experiment. It'll work, but not great. So I'm not gonna recommend it for this purpose. Now the most important part of any good Jim Gordon figure is the stash. So I've got just a little bit here, and I got some glue on his upper lip, and we are going to put it in place. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit less. Anyway, it doesn't take much, so take what you need, which is probably about half of this. There we go. And lay it in place. You can see I've taken my X-Acto knife and I've formed lines in his hair and such. That's important. Right now he looks like George Washington, but we will change that here in a minute. I'm gonna put a little bit of flesh tone in here, get that on the hands and here on the neck so that things start to match. And our air conditioning went out again. You'll remember from about 6 weeks ago. It did, and it was not the funnest experience. Luckily, we are now into the fall, and so it is not as terrible, but I do have the window open and the door open, so you might hear little kids running around and talking and all that sort of stuff, because if I close the door, it gets super hot in here, and I don't want that, so we will all suffer together. Now, this version of Jim Gordon obviously had more of a red hair, right? So we're gonna go through with an orange base, and then we will add on, let me see if I can get him in focus here. There we go. We will add on some wash, and we'll play around with the tones a little bit because this is a really bright orange. But I'd rather start with a nice bright color and then tone it down, as opposed to go the other route. The airs turn out pretty good with this resin. So these parts in here, between the hairs and stuff should catch the wash pretty good. So I'm gonna do that, get his mustache, and we'll do some gray and such because he's got gray on his temples generally. And yeah, go from there. So I put the head on because it'll make it easier to do this. I'm gonna add some gray in here, just getting a little bit on the brush. And I wanna start light and see because I want him to have gray temples. We'll add a couple of layers, but I also want it to still have, some of the orange. We'll do the same thing with the mustache. You can see I didn't get really the edges of the mustache with the red because with the orange. He may have red head, but it's orange hair. Because I want to have it be a little more gray than the rest, so I didn't get around the edges. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just go kind of dry brush it on, get him some gray temples. Now what we got is we're gonna go through with the brown wash and we're gonna hit all of this, the hair. We're even gonna hit his coat, and we're gonna go all over it. Wanna get every detail, wanna darken in this coat, and I think brown is the way to go. So I'm gonna do this, it's gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna have to change brushes at a different point, to get his mustache. His mustache turned out really gray, you can almost not see it, so we definitely need to do something with that. But I think this will do it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So the mustache is frustrating me a little bit in getting the lines. It's not quite working out the way that I'm envisioning. It's kind of clumping, but we'll figure that out. But you can see I've got some sunglasses on him. Now, Jim Gordon has glasses generally, not when he was Batman, but when he's Commissioner Gordon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill holes and I'm gonna remove the lenses and then paint them black. So he'll just have glasses. It won't have, glass on there, but I wanna be able to see his eyes and not have it be like, oh, he's wearing sunglasses. So that will be our compromise. So I've decided to cut them out as opposed to drilling them out. So what I've done is I've cut little notches into the wood here to hold them. And I'm just gonna go through and poke and cut them out. And hopefully this will work. I think it will. Decided to switch up the glasses. These ones ended up being too big for his face and they were being a pain in the butt to cut. So I think I'll save these for like a future, maybe Clark Kent or something like that, and fix them up. These ones worked much better. I was able to cut them out, and so we'll paint them black and get them on his face. And these are about the same shape as the ones he wore in the Dark Knight movie, so he actually looks a little bit like Gary Oldman when he has them on, so that's not a bad thing. Gluing on a few accessories here, his badge, and a holster, and his glasses. So I just got glue in place. Figured I could glue them all at once. Getting the mustache right has been difficult because it's just getting it just right has been kind of a pain, because you got stuff cut in there and you've got, it's a small space. I'm doing it by hand, so it hasn't been the easiest thing. So right now what we're doing is we're moving on to the shirt. And you can see I haven't put on the glasses yet, because when I was going to glue them, I realized they were just a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna cut them down so that the bottoms are a little bit thinner, look a little bit more natural on his face. What I'm doing right now is I've taken a little bit of blue and a little bit of gray, I've mixed them together so that this has the look of a police shirt. Even though he's, a police commissioner, I still want him to have that sort of distinct feel, which means, going with the bluish gray shirt is the way to go. So just gonna get in here, do the tie, and it's looking pretty good. Then we'll paint the badge and get the glasses on. I think we'll be in pretty good shape. And we are going classic black on the tie. Really make Jim look like a police officer. Let's go ahead and trim down these glasses a little bit on the outside here. Before we get the glasses in place, let's do a little bit of dry brush with some bone white. This will help to accent the more fabric-y look that we want on this trench coat. Goes on nice and simple. Let's get a little bit on there and move it around, just like so. Let's go ahead and get these glasses on. Got a little bit of glue on them. That should do us. And there we have Jim Gordon. All my gear is put away, so I'm just gonna film on the phone for this one, which I don't usually do, but I'm gonna do it tonight. So he was a fun one to work on. Obviously I wouldn't use that resin again, but it did work out. I mean, it was very sticky and hard to deal with, but it did work out. His hair looks pretty good. So yeah, I really like this much better than the Hush figure. So yeah, it's a good one. Get customizing, everybody. Have fun. I'm Stephen Human. Check out all my my novels on Amazon or at stephenhumanauthor.com. And I'll see you guys soon.